channel. It's your girl Noxie, aka the girl on site. I hope you're all well. I am fantastic, guys. I'm actually here on the beautiful Wits campus, and as I mentioned in my intro video, I'm actually busy with my my master's degree, and your girl just submitted her thesis. Oh my goodness, guys, you don't know how amazing it feels. Just 3 long years coming down to this final moment where my dissertation is done. It was the largest and heaviest component of this entire program, so this means I am done, and I trust that I did a good job. I hope so. I think that this is, almost the official end of this chapter. I'm obviously looking forward to graduation, so that better come together. But in the meantime, I just thought the perfect way to, basically springboard right into student life, a segment that I really want to just dive into what it means to study in the field of engineering and the built environment. I thought, come on, let me just bring you guys out here, just see what it's like on campus, and just tell you just a little bit more about studying in the field of construction. Right, so I've been studying, guys. I did my undergraduate degree, I did my honors degree, I did this master's degree, so I rate, I've got so much to share, and I hope all this information can help you. And I think, more than anything, in terms of honing in on the field of construction alone, I think just in general, that aspect of going to study further once you've finished high school, it's a big question in a lot of people's lives. Do I need to? What's the benefit of studying further? Will it really help me in my career? All these very valuable questions, because indeed, I think in South Africa, more than anything, we know how challenging it is, being a young graduate, unemployed, struggling to find work. But guys, it's the case, for many, many different people in many different fields. And I think more than anything, we always need to just see how we track our career from, the point of tertiary education to practical experience and to actually calling yourself a qualified professional. So it's a long journey. It's a really long journey. And I think more than anything, before you even embark on that journey, it's about knowing whether or not you've made the right choice in what you've decided to study. So I studied construction project management, and basically that program falls under the umbrella of the School of Construction Economics and Management. And across South Africa, in your major universities, whether Cape Town, Pretoria, Johannesburg, there's a School of Construction Economics and Management, and that school falls within the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment. And practically, every university is structured accordingly. There's a faculty. Under that faculty, there are various schools. Within those schools, your degree falls within one of them, and obviously one school will have multiple ranges of degrees. So for instance, in this context, in the School of Construction Economics and Management, there's the degree of Construction Project Management, there is Quantity Surveying, there is Town Planning, and I'm sure quite a few others, depending on which university you're attending. So in this instance, this specific degree, it fundamentally, of course, I've explained a number of things associated with project management and construction, the 6 stages of every construction project. And this field is, it's fundamentally based on the project management body of knowledge, the PMBOK is what they call it. And this body of knowledge, it's like basic fundamental principles associated with this role, best practices. And although it's a very finite and defined role or field of study, it also includes and introduces other fields inside of it. So over the years, I mentioned construction law, so we had a segment on the law in construction. We've had segments where we've had to go into geotechnical studies and surveying, because all these different aspects, they are definitely involved in the process of construction. So we've had courses on measurement and design, which is also, it speaks more to like your quantity surveying. And we've had, of course, like actual design courses. We need to know exactly how is a building designed, what are the different elements that go into a building, from the foundation right up to the superstructure and the roof itself. So we need to understand design to that extent. And so I guess you get the gist, right? There are different fields that all come into play when we are studying, and I believe the same for every other field, that there'll be a number of courses that might fall outside of your fundamental practices, but you've had to learn them, of course, to be well-rounded in executing your profession in whichever field it may be. So yeah, I found it very interesting, the different levels that you go to as you go through each and every journey of study. So for instance, at the undergraduate level compared to the honors level, compared to the master's level, of course, and each and every one of those stages, I'm telling you, it's been so valuable. I've honestly enjoyed it. And speaking of value, that's one thing I really want to emphasize as well, guys. When you are deciding to embark on tertiary studies, first and foremost, going to university is very expensive, guys. It is so expensive, and depending where you're from, I mean, in South Africa primarily, there's a huge challenge with the affordability of tertiary studies. It's quite difficult, it's quite challenging. So you really, I implore you to make a very, very thorough decision when it comes to pursuing your tertiary studies, because whether your parents are funding you or whether you are using debt to fund your studies through a student loan of some kind, or if you've been fortunate enough to obtain a bursary, at the end of the day, there are resources going into this exercise, and you want to make sure that there will be a return on that investment. So whether it's your parents' hard-earned money or the debt that you will one day have to repay, guys, be sure that you are you know what the value that you're trying to get out of your studies is. So, just to give a little bit of background as to what guided how long I chose to study for, in South Africa, especially in the built environment, but I think many other industries as well, we are basically governed by a number of councils which regulate the industry or the sector. So in the built environment, for example, if you're an engineer, you'll belong to the Engineering Council of South Africa, which is EXA. So in my case, as a project manager, I belong to the South African Council for Project Managers and Construction Management Professionals. Such a long acronym, SACPCMP. Goodness. And so to qualify for professional registration, to be a certified professional, because you can get registered at different other levels, but you want that professional registration, and the requirements fundamentally are an honors degree, and there are different routes to getting that professional registration, but this one was the most straightforward. So after undergraduate studies, I was like, okay, I'm definitely going for that honors, so that I get the professional registration. But then aside from that, my master's, actually, I mean, not everyone goes on to master's studies, but I really felt like I just wanted to take it further. I was really inspired by my older brother, who also just studied as far as possible. I think he was going on 2 master's degrees. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll definitely go that extra mile and get that master's degree. So looking at it from the bottom going upwards, at undergraduate level, I did a Bachelor of Science in Construction Economics and Management. Building Studies is also what they just called it. And then at honors level, I did a Bachelor of Science with honors in Construction Project Management. So as you can see, it's at the honors level actually where you specialize. So at undergraduate level, it's quite generic, and all of us, whether you wanted to go towards quantity surveying or town planning or project management, we all did that undergraduate degree, and then we specialized at the honors level. So that's why it was at honors where it was, construction project management. And then at master's level, I actually decided to, diversify outside of the umbrella of project management, because I felt like at undergraduate level, at honors level, I really felt like I had just the full scope of this profession, quite practically, and of course, even with the experience as well, because after honors, I went straight into the world of working. And so at masters, I decided, no, let me do something a little different, and I did my master's in the field of real estate. So my master's degree is a Master of Science in Property Development and Management, and that belongs to, you know, the real estate category. And what that is basically, it's, you know, the commercial side of the industry. You know, it's the business of real estate and construction. You know, it's market dynamics, it's commercial investment. You know, it's really a lovely, you know, I guess I think it was a really lovely way for me to diversify outside of, you know, just site-based, project-based experience, and just to learn and be in a different side of the economy or of the market, you know, because that's what it really is. And that's one thing I actually really want to motivate you guys to do, guys. You know, just figure out in which way or how can you diversify your expertise, your knowledge. You know, just always be on a continuous path to discovery and equipping yourself. You know, the way things are going, you want to make sure that you future-proof your career as well. So I felt like, no, I'm not going to do the same thing over and over again. Let me just do something different. But otherwise, so I think, guys, that's like a fair enough place to wrap up on this discussion, because this is just the introduction to, you know, our chat about student life and, you know, what it takes to really educate yourself in the field of construction. And of course, I'm sure there's a number of things I might not have covered, and you're more than welcome to ask me, because it will guide us into the rest of the content in this discussion. I wouldn't mind actually going deeper into each and every level of the degrees I've done. So undergraduate level, postgraduate level, master's level. I mean, let's have the chat, guys. And if anything, if you want to know more than what I'm specifically studying, I'm happy to just bring, you know, colleagues and just networks of mine to just chat to us about their specific field. And I think that also takes us into our careers in construction segment, where we're just going to learn a little bit more about different fields in this industry. So I'm super excited to have that chat with you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this small preliminary discussion into the field of construction project management, but more fundamentally studying in the field of construction project management and construction studies in general. So yeah, guys, I think let's call it over there. Like, subscribe per usual, share the content, guys, and I'll see you next time.